Welcome back to another episode of the Finance Bible podcast. You're joined with myself, Zeke, and fellow co-founder and co-host of the Finance Bible, Mr. Don.
Thank you for another great introduction. If you are listening to this first time, welcome. Mate, you are off to the States and Canada Friday or Saturday this week. Not too sure what it is, but I know it's in a few days. Hence why we're here. We are about to talk about travel hacks, how we can save money, how you can plan accordingly for trips without blowing a budget, because we've probably all been there, myself included. My last international trip when I was 21, I blew my budget. Let's just be honest. I blew my budget. It was not good. I didn't have any plan in place. It was kind of just whatever happens. Come back. I'll figure it out then. So this episode is for everyone who obviously wants to go overseas, like we all do, but is nervous with how can we plan with the money. I don't want to come back with nothing. For yourself, have you got anything sorted financially for your trip?
Well, not really.
Oh.
I think common sense goes a long way. And I think that at the end of the day, you bring how much money you want to spend and you spend it. For example, you might finish up a trip to America at Vegas. Oh. If you come home with something, you win, you come home. If you don't, you don't. But no, in all seriousness, I do have a few things
I'm sure
in place, like just not being a bit of a goose over there. I'm trying to steer away from a few certain activities and restaurants that cost a bit of money.
I've kind of put together a list over the last few years since I came back from that trip.
Hang on a minute. Let's talk about your qualifications here to do such a thing. You're quite a veteran when it comes to travel, I would say.
Cool.
Can we go through a couple of places you've been, just so that we can understand where your experience is coming from?
All right. So places I've been recently, Africa. Well, not recently, probably 3 years ago. Africa, the States. Went down to Mexico, Thailand, Vietnam, New Zealand, Cambodia. I don't know. Yeah, Singapore. That's good fun. Universal Studios there, great time. I guess
Zimbabwe.
Well, a few places in Africa.
Yeah.
yeah. But first things first. So you're going away now. You're probably going to join me in Europe for the last couple of weeks, hopefully in Ibiza, come August. For example, if anyone is going to Europe in middle year or wherever you're going, we'll start with that. So that's around 6 months away. Number one on my list, which I've been putting together for the last few years, whatever it may be, is number one, how can we get a free flight?
Oh,
so
tell me more.
It does sound too good to be true. And it is. It's not exactly free.
Are we talking about planning something as a work trip, or where's this going? I'm keen to hear more.
It can be whatever you want it to be. If you are going on a work trip, you can do it this way. If you're going on a trip with your friends, family, whatever it may be, you can also do it. But what I mean by free flight is what I've done is I've been finding credit cards. So a lot of finance gurus and finfluencers hate credit cards for consumer debt. We agree consumer debt is, well, I agree, but know about you.
Oh, consumer debt, big no-no.
Yeah, consumer debt, stay away. That's the majority of credit cards. But if you use a credit card wisely for travel hacks like this works out well. So you do some research, figure out which credit cards have the best, frequent flyer points. So myself, I choose Qantas frequent flyer because I think they are one of the best airlines. They have the best perks, best point system. So figure out the best credit card with the best points. Over that 6 to 12 month period, all your transactions, I just use my credit card as my daily, debit card, for example, and just transfer everything over to the credit card. So that is paying off the credit card straight away, so I don't get into consumer debt. But also, most importantly, is every transaction, depending what card you've got, you might get 1.5 points or 2 points, Qantas points that is, per dollar you spend.
And there's other ones too, like Velocity. And
Velocity. There's heaps of different point systems.
Yeah, this isn't financial advice to go get a Qantas credit card or any associated.
No, it's just cards. Our personal opinions.
Yeah, personal opinions. Two mates having a chat, talking about holidays. Disclaimer, there you go.
And then 6 to 12 months of doing that leading up to your trip, you would be able to book a flight probably with the points that you've accrued over time. Or if not, you might pay half of it with the points and half with cash. So you'll be saving around 50%, or if not all of it. That's what I've been doing. It's great. You even get the sneaky upgrades to the business lounge sometimes with the points. That is where I would start looking further. How can we save money on flights? Because that's the most expensive factor, really. Like return flights to Europe, for example, like $2,500. How much were yours to... Are you flying to Canada? LA?
Flying into Vancouver, doing a few things in between, and then flying back from LA.
Second step, what I'd look at is, before you go anywhere, check the exchange rates.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That can really take a lot of your money for, $1 mil.
At the time of filming right now, going to Canada, going to America is actually pretty good. The conversion rate is actually more in our favour now than it really has been. Like, it's 7 cents more, like, per Australian dollar right now than it was back in October, which is only 4 months ago. 7% per dollar. Like, that's a lot when you think about it. Because then you throw your currency conversion fees, you throw your foreign transaction fees and that on top of it, you could get to like 11% higher, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember when I went to the States, I think $1 was like 0.6 American.
Yeah, I think it's 0.68 at the moment.
It was ridiculous. I was buying, because I went there, I didn't look at any of the exchange rates. So I was going, I said, oh, fuck, everything's so cheap. This is unreal. Go to the pub, get like 4 Bud Lights for $10. It turns out it wasn't $10. Everything added up. You see the transactions come out of your bank account and it converts to the Australian dollars, and you say, oh, shit, that wasn't what I thought it was.
That got me in Japan.
Oh,
doing
it's dangerous.
Things like the taxis and whatnot, you go, oh yeah, it's just X amount of dollars.
Oh, it's shocking.
But the thing of it, it's a lot harder to convert in Japan. I'm there at like, I don't know, whatever time it was, absolutely.
You're pissed.
Yeah, so it's like 1 a.m. or something. I'm not fully coherent at this point in time.
Coherent.
And
Coherent.
we're trying to organise things, and it is what it is. I think when I went, the conversion was like 0.016. I'm sitting there trying to figure out, like, doing the math in my head at that point in time, and it was just mayhem. Then you pay for things. You've got the foreign currency conversion fee come out, which I think is about 3% at most banks. Yeah, it's just mayhem.
Yeah, it is mayhem, and that international fee brings me to the next point. There are a lot of banks out there. For example, I am a big fan of the ING everyday account. So that card has no international fees. It's perfect for a travel card, for example, because in the past, 5-10 years ago, travel cards were pretty big. Everyone was using them when you go overseas because the debit cards here had massive fees attached to them. But now, if you are an ING customer, a lot of other banks actually have this as well, you can just use your normal card every day, and that's not going to charge you any international fees, which is great.
Yeah,
saves you a lot of money if you're going for like a 4-week trip, for example.
That's an unreal card. A lot of other banks, you've got to actually apply and get the travel card. Like, I know with St. George, it was the global currency card and all of this. You have to go through a bit of rigmarole to get it. But HSBC, I have one with them. You have one too, actually, where we've linked up like Canadian dollars and all of that to one specific card, and it's linked to different accounts. So when I'm in Canada, I'll have the money there ready to go. And then when I go to America afterwards, I just transfer it straight over.
Yeah.
And all good, no problems.
Yeah, that's so handy. And you'll be able to see the actual exchange as well on the app, which makes it a lot easier for yourself.
On that note, make sure, like, side tip, not helping you budget, make sure when you go overseas you let your bank know, because the fraud departments will actually monitor your account and block your card if you go overseas without telling them.
Glad you brought this up.
Has this happened to you?
Yeah, it was one of the points.
Oh.
So that's actually leads perfectly.
Well, there you go. I might let you talk about this one.
All right, I'll talk about this one then. Yeah, definitely let your bank know when you are going overseas, especially not your main countries like America, London, etc.
Yeah.
When I was in Mexico, for example, ING actually blocked my one and only card I took on the whole trip. So first mistake, don't take one card with you. Take 2 or 3 debit or credit cards or whatever you have, just in case it gets blocked by the bank. Because in my circumstance, I was at the airport in Mexico. When I arrived in Mexico 2 weeks earlier, they gave me an immigration slip or something without telling me I had to present that when I left the country too. So I got to the airport and they said, "Where's your slip?" And I said, "Mate, what do you mean? I chucked it in the bin when I arrived." And I said, "What? You can't board the plane if you don't have a slip." And I was by myself. I was with no mates or anyone. So I was like, oh, shit. All right, what do I do? And they said, all right, well, it's going to cost around 150 Australian. I said,
Excuse
fine.
me, good sir, what can I do to get myself out of this trouble?
It was basically like that. 150 Australian. So I was like, all right, bit of a rip-off, but I have to get on the plane to leave the country so I can go home. Because at that time, I was very eager to get back to Australia. So I go get my card out and try and pay for this slip. Couldn't pay. And I said, what's going on? What's happening? I was freaking out. couldn't pay. It said your bank account's been blocked. So I try and call ING. I literally can't. I've got my SIM card expired the day before or something. Some weird thing happened with my card. So I couldn't actually call the bank, and I had no internet, obviously. So then I'm going around an hour and a half in the airport trying to talk to randoms and ask them if they can give me $150 to this random Australian dude, and who's promising once he gets through, he'll connect to the Wi-Fi and call the bank and get him to unblock the card. Anyway, I met this unreal German couple. They were like freaking out when I approached them. Anyway, they lent me $150 cash. They took it out of the ATM at the airport, and they didn't speak any English. So I was kind of like doing some weird like sign language, whatever. Kind of.
I would love to get a live reenactment.
Oh, this is the most. The flight was leaving in half an hour, by the way. So anyway, I got the $150 off them, paid for my immigration, got through security, connected my phone to the Wi-Fi, tried to call the bank, finally got through, got charged a lot to call the bank. They unblocked my card, and then I transferred money to the Germans. And happy days. It came up as a memory.
In contact?
Well, it came up as a memory the other day.
You should transfer them $5 now with your phone number and
just say g'day.
Like, reach out.
Yeah, seriously, that would actually be sick. But long story short, like you have to travel with one or more cards, because if one goes to shit, you are done.
And what could have made your problem a lot worse, which I used to deal with a lot when I was in the banking, if when you rung up, you failed your identification check on the phone, what they do is they make you have to go to a branch. You can't get served again over the phone for that whole 24-hour period.
Oh, yeah, that would be shocking.
So if you didn't know, like you didn't have your driver's license, didn't know your driver's license number, or you had a different email, you hadn't updated it, you had a different address because you had moved, or you had a different mailing address. What are other questions? A transaction that's happened in your account in the last 14 days, like give me the dollar amount, where it was, and what day it was. You got to get 2 or 3. If you failed like 2 or 3 of them, and the main one they use actually is they'll send a text to your phone for you to read back the SMS code.
Yeah, that's it.
If you couldn't receive the code while you're overseas, then you're pretty much guaranteed to fail. Get blocked out, you've got to go to a branch. What do you do then?
You're done.
So just make sure you notify the bank.
You're done.
Make sure all your details are up to date, because that's
it's dangerous. You don't want to be in that.
Unfold.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a situation like that. But yeah, get more than one card.
Save on the conversion fees, which is actually another point that we were going to talk about. The conversion fees and that kind of thing, like as well as the actual currency conversion, the foreign fee itself, which the global cards prevent, can add up really quick. If you're overseas for 5 weeks or 6 weeks, you average $1.5 spending per week. You're at $9,000 after 6 weeks. $9,000 with a 3% conversion fee. Do the math on that. It's a lot of money that you don't want to spend.
A lot of money you need to spend, or you don't want to spend. It actually comes down to another point: budgeting.
It's all back and forth.
So you've planned accordingly to pay for your flight 6 months in advance. Now you've got that sorted. You've got your frequent flyer coming through. You've looked at the exchange rates. Now it's time to sit down and figure out how long am I going for. Based on that, how much can I budget per day? What am I going to spend on food? What am I going to spend at the bar? What am I going to do in activities?
This bit's tough.
What am I going to spend my money on? Because when you are overseas, you want to spend your money on everything. You do not care, which is a good thing. Have some fun. But if you're going for 8 weeks and you've only budgeted for 4 weeks, you're going to be digging into your savings and maybe asking your parents or a friend for a loan because you don't have the money. Do a bit of reverse calculations here and figure out, I'm there for 4 weeks. Generally, I spend around, maybe $100 a day on this. Maybe I'll budget for $150 a day or $200 a day. Always budget a bit more than what you actually think, because there are going to be those spontaneous things.
Beverages.
Yeah. You get a bit too carried away, especially with you going to Vegas, mate. You'll be slapping the slots machine all night.
Oh, mate.
I know. You'll be going off.
I remember there was a trip I went on in my youth.
In your youth?
Yeah, I'm still relatively young, but in my youth, we're talking like 3 full-time working days, and it was a little bit spontaneous. I decided I was going to do a little bit of a Queensland trip.
Oh.
And there came a point where I didn't want to leave, so I just stayed for a little bit longer, broke that budget. Yeah. Next minute, no money.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the card, sitting there having a beveragino. Oh, I probably can't afford this. Tap anyway. So, yeah, don't go down that path.
Don't go down that path. A really good app, which I have spoken about before, and it's what I'm actually doing right now to save for my trip in the middle of the year, is the Up online bank. Mm-hmm. So they have pretty cool savings, your graphs. So you put in your goal. So you might want to put aside $3,000 of spending money for your trip. pop in your $3,000, put your deposits in. It'll give you how much percent of the way you're there. So you might be 10% of the way to the goal, or 25, whatever it may be. And it'll continue to update until you reach the goal and give you little hints of how much you might need to deposit if you are running out of time, and get you to that goal, because no one wants to run out of money on a trip and then be consuming it when you get back, because it happens to a lot of people, and it might rewind your goals 5 or 10 years as well for building wealth. So we definitely want to avoid that.
Budgeting brings us on to another point.
Oh,
I'm going to say that every point.
Mate, it's like a tennis match, just bloody having a big rally.
I do love tennis. Budget with your accommodation.
Yes.
Choose wisely. Now, what I mean by that, don't stay somewhere that you don't want to settle for, as in it might not meet the quality that you're after, but think wisely about what you're doing. So, for example, with my Canada and America trip, when I'm in Whistler, the snowboarding area, do I need a hectic place to stay? No, I'm going to be on the mountain literally all day, and then out at the night clubs,
sleep,
and then I'm going to be back. Yeah, I'll literally be going there to sleep. Yeah. So I don't need a 5-star place with a jacuzzi, even though
I might
be getting a jacuzzi because I do like them.
I love a jacuzzi.
But I don't need that. So if I couldn't afford it, guess what? I wouldn't do it. Vegas, another one. Am I going to be in the hotel there at all? Absolutely not. No. I don't even know why we booked one. It's just for our luggage.
Yeah,
I won't be sleeping for 3 days.
I didn't go in my hotel room for 3-4 days, I think, in Vegas.
Yeah, well, that's exactly
That's
right.
what's going to happen to you.
Again,
good fun over there.
You can go nice and cheap there if you want. Whereas if you're going more, where else am I going? Toronto, I'll probably be in the hotel a bit more. So,
well, it depends where you are. You're like, if you're in a tropical island and you're in a resort, obviously you want your hotel majority of the day around the pool, on the beach.
You want a villa in the water.
Yeah, you want something mint. You want a nice restaurant, a nice bar at the hotel, get into it. But yeah, if you're doing things like yourself and skiing and stuff, it's perfect.
And if you're going to Africa, your favourite destination, then
I had a look at our itinerary, and we are literally majority of the days, we're going for 2 weeks. So most of the days we are getting to the hotel at like 7 o'clock at night and then leaving at like 5:30 the next day to go on a safari. So that's, for example, literally just going in for sleeping. And in terms of actually booking places, instead of going to direct websites, just go to the sites like booking.com, or Trivago, Agoda. There's all these websites out there which have really good deals for accommodation wherever you are wanting to head.
True.
And you can save a lot of money doing
also,
it that
Airbnb.
way. Yeah, Airbnb is a big one. Also, what I'm thinking as well is there are websites out there. I don't know the actual names of them, but you can do like house sitting. So
yes, you can.
If you're going to Canada like yourself, you could go on a website for like house sitting in Canada and just say, hey, I'm in town for this time, happy to house sit. Most of the time, you're not going to get charged much at all. Sometimes people literally just do it for free. So that is a perfect option if you are traveling on a budget.
With that as well, if you're looking at going to, for example, like Vegas or something, just front of mind, easy. If you want to stay somewhere like near everything in that, the Caesar's Palace, everyone knows it.
Oh, mate, class. I lost a bit of money on that blackjack table in there.
Classic place, big place. Everyone knows what it is. They obviously are going to charge more than whatever's next door to them. Wherever you are, have a look around in the area. Like, get an idea of where you want to stay, like 400 meters, 500 meters away from XYZ. And to see what else is around, because you might be able to get something of the same quality for a lot cheaper or of high quality for the same price, just because of the name difference.
And even if it is 400 meters out of where you are wanting to, electric bikes, electric scooters, Uber.
Oh, come on, 400 meters,
run,
that's a walk.
Jog.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
You could crawl 400 meters if you want to.
Even if you're a K-out, there's options. Public transportation is everywhere these days. Just buy a skateboard, get on the road, let's go.
Bring a skateboard.
BYO.
Or if you're snowboarding, just have some bolt-on wheels.
Happy days.
Bring the old bolt-on, it's all good.
Another big point is local SIM cards. If you are, some of you in Australia who are from Australia listening to this, when you purchase your phone, you may have got the international roaming, international calls included, which is great if you have. You don't have to worry about any of that. If you haven't, and what I've done in the past is I've just purchased the international SIM card over there. You pay like $40 or whatever it may be.
Gives you a different phone number though, yeah?
Different phone number, but still everything's the same. So
Yeah, okay.
I think I had unlimited data, and I could call
Whoever you want.
like 40 hours in the month, which
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
going to call for 40 hours.
Yeah, on a holiday.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you don't have that and you're just using your data overseas, you will get charged quite a lot, especially if you're using it every day. It will add up. I've got a mate who came back from a trip to Europe like 4 years ago, and he thought he was using a local SIM card, but he obviously didn't. And he came back and he was like $2,500 of international roaming, which you had to pay up.
Yeah, that'll hurt your feelings.
Telstra were chasing him hard. So yeah, definitely look at the options. And you can it's probably cheaper as well to purchase it before you go, or just suss it out. It might not be, but do your research before you go so you know exactly what you're looking for when you get there.
Yeah, I know that I get phone calls included, but the data package you obviously don't. I'm just going to pay for a fair bit of gigabytes while I'm there. It does cost a bit of money when you're buying the gigabytes, but
I love the gigabytes.
you've got to do it sometime.
It's got to be done.
I think that actually, as we get older, we move away from Snapchat.
My age group's already moved away, mate. I think it's just you.
Oh no, mate, that's good
You're the only mate I know who's still actively on Snapchat. All you do is your whole group chats are on Snapchat though.
Oh, only the ones that we're putting like videos and photos in. Like if there's a photo or something or a video or something, we're not going to go on Facebook Messenger, start recording and be like, here, see this. But our actual chats are Facebook Messenger.
It's funny because all my mates, all our chats are WhatsApp.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, WhatsApp. So
Such a
we're
weird
all
thing.
on WhatsApp. So I think having a big like Facebook Messenger, yes, for some, but group chats, they're fully nuts. I think that's a bit weird.
Wow. Big news.
Tell us
You're a
what
WhatsApp
everyone uses out there. I actually want to know what.
I think it's going to
everyone
vary
uses.
age group to age group. I'll say under 20 is a Snapchat. I'll say 20 to 25 is Facebook, and 25 over is WhatsApp. Because Snapchat isn't used much anymore in the older demographic, I think that data charges will be a lot less. They won't consume as much. They might not stream as much. If you're out having fun and you feel the need to jump on and stream, then you won't have to spend as much money.
Nicely said.
Another one to jump on is activities. I think that similar to the accommodation thing, like if you're looking at going to accommodation for a particular event or a particular thing, like Niagara Falls, for example, going there, it's near Toronto. I'm not staying at a hotel for Niagara Falls because they charge an arm and a leg. Like they put Niagara Falls in the description, bang, up another $1,000 per night.
Yeah.
Not actually, but you get the point. Just looking around there, what is nearby, stay somewhere cheaper. Same thing with activities. If you're wanting to do, I don't know, Niagara Falls.
Yep, good example.
There's a lot of tours there that you can do. You can literally watch a video on where people walk and just go do the tour yourself.
Because tours would cost probably around $100, I'd say, Canadian.
Yeah, there's proper tours there for like 300, 400.
Yeah.
And
Which would be cool, but you can literally do it yourself.
yeah, just watch a video and go, oh, they walked this way and went under there. I'm going to do it. Same with everywhere else you go. Like if you are doing a trail in New Zealand or I don't know what else there is in the world.
Just everything.
Yeah, just everything. They're just specific examples. But there's free activities you can do. If you're going to get a sense of the culture or something, just walk down the main street. Go have a look.
Yeah.
Go
to
look
the
around.
local markets where all the locals go.
Free museums.
Yeah. When I went to Singapore, I just went to the local markets, asked the local man, I said, mate, just here for a couple of nights. What's the best dish? What should I get? What are you eating for dinner tonight? I'm going to get the same thing. Said,
Go where the locals go.
Come over here, young man.
Oh,
Come over here. But yeah, just try that. It was probably like $5 to go, and I was full for a bloody day.
wow.
Probably we've gone on quite a bit with all these points. We could talk about it forever.
Before we jump on to the next one, when I was in Japan,
Here we go.
I remember wanting to see some of the local like temples and stuff, like
Oh, yeah,
ancient
yeah.
Japanese stuff. So you just jump on Google, have a look where different temples are, make your own walk.
Figure out how
Bang,
far away
destination A, B, C, D, walk between them, happy days.
you are. And that's what
Hectic temples.
That's what builds the best memories as well.
On that-
Finding those experiences of getting lost in the bloody jungle and then coming out. Oh, here's a temple. Unreal. we
I
made
love
it.
getting lost in jungles.
Yeah, it's good.
But
Walk around, find free things, make memories, get into it.
yeah, learn random things about history that you never knew existed.
You never know. Touched on it before, public transport. If you're 30 minutes away from a place and the Uber is exceedingly expensive, get an e-bike, get a scooter. Good fun. When I was in LA 2020 or 2019, I don't think I got an Uber once. We were just on scooters the whole trip. Like from
Sounds like me in Melbourne.
Hollywood to... Yeah, you did love the scooters in Melbourne when you went down, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
There was a night we finished up at about 4 a.m. and we had to go somewhere. And I just said, boys, why would we go back and sleep? Let's jump on the old scooters.
They're good fun.
Next minute, 3 hours later, we're at our destination, ready to go for the next day.
Happy days. 3 hours later. Well, anyway, mate, I think we'll wrap it up there. We've touched on quite a few points. Closing podcast for yourself, because you are heading away this weekend. What are you most excited for?
What am I most excited for?
What are you most
now,
excited
that's an
for?
open-ended question that could land us in a lot of trouble.
Just one answer, mate.
Can you steer me in some kind of direction?
What are you most excited for to see on the trip? To see tourist attractions.
Oh, tourist attractions. Oh, okay. Well, I've got this vision, and it stemmed from a video I saw on TikTok. Have you seen? Actually, I'll describe my vision. You tell me if you have seen it. At Whistler, I'm going to be up on the top of the mountain, snowboarding down like a king, just zooming down, and someone's going to be on the chairlift coming by, or my GoPro is going to be facing backwards. It's going to be a big black bear chasing me down the hill. Have you seen
I've
the
seen
TikTok?
it. Is that the girl who was snowboarding?
Yeah, she was
and she had no
skiing down.
idea?
Yeah, she didn't know the
Yeah.
bear was behind her chasing her. Anyway, I have a feeling that I'm going to encounter a wild bear. It's
hope
just
that
a
happens.
feeling. I hope it happens.
And after we seen Cocaine Bear yesterday, now I really wanted that movie. Because that was unreal. That movie.
Cocaine Bear.
That's a good movie.
That was a good movie. Wow. If I encounter Cocaine Bear, I won't be coming back. I don't know if I'll be back anyway.
Oh no. Well, let's hope you come back and enjoy your trip.
We should wrap it up there and talk about this off air.
Yeah, we should.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in again. Please, please, please give us a rating if you haven't. Share us around. New listeners, I hope you enjoyed the first step for you. If you've got any specific recommendations or ideas or questions,
Or areas you think you want us to improve on.
yeah. If we talk too much rubbish, just let us know. We'll dial it down a little bit. Yeah, there's 40 minutes of content and probably 5 minutes of useful information. So,
Literally.
yeah, just flick us through a DM. We're happy to help. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.